Hello, it's Monday, and you all know my assistants, Gonky, the hotel man.
That's right.
Hartzog.
I'm forward deployed.
With Wilson in the corner.
With Wilson.
Actually, he's more like Heidi. You're Al. He's Heidi.
How are you?
He's muted. You can't hear him.
We can't hear the keyboard.
I'm not
Quickly
talking.
clack.
I've learned it's safer that way.
Yeah. What's up? That looks like a different. Did your family finally kick you out?
She booted me. Yeah. She's had enough of mediocrity.
About time.
About time. That's right. Hey, but look at the bright side, man. I'll be able to get a DCS set up and, turn and burn in my basement.
But your internet's going to suck.
That's true. Right. Yeah.
If I move too fast, does it freeze up on you?
Don't do that, dude.
My wife got the internet in the divorce.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, you want to tell us about stuff that you're doing?
It's just been
Is it exciting? Is it something I care about?
No, it's not anything you care about. No, man, I'm down. Yeah, obviously not in my office, not at home. So.
Don't you have to shave for what you're doing?
Probably. Maybe I'll just roll the dice, see if anyone notices. Sit all the way in the back of the classroom,
Is there anybody you want to say hi to that's already recognized you?
It is funny. I did get recognized, which always surprises me. So,
well, you're kind of a big deal.
Yeah, literally the first person I ran into here at the hotel, Gonky, like, who? Me? So, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, he was a C-130 guy, retired, fun to talk to. I actually do enjoy it when we meet a fan of the show because it's fun to talk about airplanes, military aviation, because most people who watch the show have that interest, as do I. So, but no, man, just doing, hanging out with the wife and the kids.
I see him back there.
No, I mean this week. Mover. I literally told my wife, I was like, why don't you guys come with me? She's like, you'll never get anything done. So
also, who wants to be cramped in a hotel?
Correct. Yeah.
In Florida.
That's right. And
with no beaches.
Yeah. And it was tsunami day here in Florida. So it was just no fun on the road.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, it's been raining, windy, cold.
I literally in the lane next to me, just ahead of me, saw a lady in a CX-7, I think Mazda, like spin around in the road and hit the car, hit the wall.
Did you assist?
No, because she tapped the wall, so I kept going. Besides, like we were literally like she spun, hit, and I was.
What did you do? You can't park there. Keep driving,
dude. It's
Rubbin's racing.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't give her a little help. I didn't give her a little help. That's what you were insinuating.
I've seen this play out.
No pit maneuvers out of me.
Should go out there and hit the lady in the Hyundai.
Hit the pace car.
Yeah. What?
Good.
Yeah. Well, how about you? What have you been doing? Tell us.
I don't know. Nothing.
You've been flying?
Helicopter.
Yes. Friday I flew.
Good.
Sure did. Flew with old Lester.
Good. Mission or just for fun?
No. He's an instructor and he's also a law enforcement official. So he was out over with us and he got to fly the OH-6. He was very excited about that. It's his bucket list. He has always wanted to fly one.
Really?
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know you hadn't flown one. You flew.
He'd never flown it before.
right?
And after flying it, he goes, now I understand. Because the last time I flew the R-44, I over-controlled like a big dog. And that's because the OH-6 has no hydraulics. So it's all manhandle. And so if you fly that for a day, when I flew the R-44 and the R-66, the day prior, I flew the OH-6, then the OH-58, then the R-44, then the R-66. And I was, it's terrible. It's terrible. I was not good at the flying though, but yeah, it was good to see him, man. He's the Dom to this operation. So,
and who are you,
man? Huh?
And who are you?
Stringfellow.
Of course. Of course. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, man.
Who are you?
St. John.
I'm St. John, dude, right? The long lost
Vietnamese. Actually, you're probably when we do the reboot, I'll be Stringfellow's long lost, son, and you can be St. John's illegitimate love child from his time in Vietnam. Actually, Stringfellow thought he had an illegitimate love child at the end of season 3.
I don't remember.
He thought it was his kid. Turned out it wasn't, or at least he doesn't think it is.
The question we all need answered.
Who is Doug? Doug is having an identity crisis. I guess you're the eye patch guy. Archangel.
Yeah.
That's a good guy?
Yeah.
Hey, he's in a white suit.
Yeah.
Oh, you can tell he's a good guy because he's got a white
Or
suit.
you're Caitlin. Which one you want to be?
I think Caitlin's shorter than me.
Among other things, Doug.
I don't know about all that, but yeah.
Dude. Yeah.
Well, we do have a show today.
We do.
Despite our best efforts, it's been quite the week.
It has been quite the week, dude.
God, so much stuff going on.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to even talk about it because it's just one of those weeks where you just don't want to talk about stuff. Let's see what the audience says. Spider says, beard life, let's go. Happy Monday. I can keep this beard until, when is it? April 17th?
17th, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a sad day for Mover.
I know. It's going to be weird.
I know.
It's going to be scary.
Yeah.
Thomas says, Mover Gonky, do ground crews do crazy things when they salute you before to taxi or takeoff? I no longer have ground crews. So
Well, when you did, Mover, did they?
usually just the gang signs of whatever squadron we were in.
Yeah. I never, nothing comes to mind, but I know what you're talking about, Thomas. Like, I've seen the videos.
Did y'all have gang signs in your squadron?
Like
Like a
no, but we would. I mean, we would, communicate to one another sometimes.
You know the finger? Yes,
Yeah.
I know the finger. Gonky.
Yeah, exactly.
No, like, because spikes, we had if you're hitting the punching bag.
Yeah.
So it looks way cooler doing it in an F-16 than it does what I just did.
Everything looks way cooler when you do it.
Just so you know.
Are you knitting above your head? What are you doing?
Yeah, it looks a lot better when there's an F-16 surrounding you.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
No, as
what
far as
you do.
the ground crews, so what? Plane captain and the Navy crew chief, right? It's just a smart salute. Away I go. But I've seen the videos. I know what you're talking about.
I've seen the videos.
Is that a military only thing, or is that likely to happen in commercial flying as well? Somebody's really having a fun day.
They have a very specific a pin and a salute thing.
Yeah.
It's like an SOP.
Yeah.
But nobody cares. They're nerds. Whatever. You can't look cool in an Airbus, dude. Sorry.
No, you can't.
It's like the
You're
opposite
right.
of the F-16.
There is a show, they show us the pin and they usually throw on the wand, they salute with the wand.
Yeah.
And then off we go.
Flash the taxi light.
Yeah. You can.
Richard says, look forward to this show all week.
Thanks, Richard. Thanks. No pressure.
Set the bar very low.
No pressure.
Joe says, I heard the reserves give out per day shaving waivers on request, Gonky. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I think at a distance you can't even tell, right? So, I mean, Mover you can, but
dude, somebody commented the other day. It was a dude. And he's like, Mover, you look better without the beard. And I'm like, first of all, that's not something one man should ever say
to another man.
To another man. I'm not into that sort of thing. So whatever, just keep it to yourself, dude. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
So I guess I shouldn't agree with him on camera.
You think I shouldn't have a beard? Is it because my beard is better than yours?
No, I think your beard looks awesome, but we're not allowed to talk like that because, masculinity.
Well, you can say nice things. You don't give men fashion advice.
So my wife saw.
I misunderstood the distinction.
My wife saw a picture of Mover this week. She goes, "Whoa, he's got a beard. What's going on?" I said, "Freedom, baby. That's what's going on."
Watch out, Gonky.
Yeah, exactly.
100% of women like the beard. 100%. Dudes are the ones that are like, Mover, I think you look better without the beard. And it's like, why do you have an opinion on this?
All you need now, Mover, is a little man bun to go with your beard. You'd be all set.
Could move to Portland.
It's on its way.
Yeah.
The other comment that pissed me off was somebody that says, you obviously don't watch Airwolf. And I just about came through the screen.
Oh, dude.
I told him, I said, I will fight you. I will pick a Sonic and I will meet you there and we will fight.
Worse
In
than
the
calling him an
parking lot.
F-15 pilot.
Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, listen, don't insult Luna and don't tell me I don't know Airwolf.
Yeah.
It's just the two rules. He said I didn't watch Airwolf because on the what was that, X whatever 76 thing, I was explaining how Airwolf could manage supersonic, and he's like, well, you don't obviously watch it because the blades always turn. And I'm like, you're obviously an idiot because I watched Airwolf more than you.
Mover has such a way with some of our.
Yeah, that's why we don't do well. Nobody wants to see. I don't have the problem you have where it's like, hey, Mover, I recognize you. They're like,
yeah. So people actually do recognize Mover in public. They just stay the heck away.
I know better.
Pretty much what we're going for.
That's
actually the goal. So
cool. Yeah.
Gundam Blade says, evening, Mover, Gonky, and Doug waiting on Myrtle Beach Airport Terminal for flight to leave before a storm comes. When Gonky is going to bully again. I don't know when Gonky is going to bully again.
I don't know, man, but he's probably waiting on the one TSA agent to finish his lunch.
He's got to fly over from Charleston.
The line has shut down because the one agent has to go to the bathroom. I hope you showed up 6 hours early.
I don't want to be political, but I just have a question of why we don't fund basic government services to try to prove a point. Like, why is it inflicting pain on the American public gets whatever point across you're trying to make?
Yeah.
These things should be just funded, and then the pet projects that they have should be the ones that get schwacked, not basic necessities like the military and law enforcement. And
what astounds me is, since we're in this heightened state of the world is in a heightened state of security based on what's going on in the Middle East. Like, so now is a great time to have, your security personnel.
Well, they're probably there. TSA is just a theater portion of that. They're not actually the dudes
but still, dude,
the blue glovers are not.
But still, they're part of it. I think it's weird.
What they've done is take an inconvenience and make it a major inconvenience.
They've taken air travel, which is miserable, and made it super miserable.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah. No.
But hey, listen, we can't not say the government has never improved anything, right? Made anything worse.
Yeah, okay, we're gonna use those words.
Yes.
Mach says, time for an in memoriam part. Sad to see those F-14s, P3, F4, and that 130 take their hints. And I want to know if Iranian P3 nerds are just as insufferable as the ones in our neck of the woods.
Anybody in particular?
I'm just like, dude, I'm way too spicy tonight. I'm sorry. Perhaps I should calm down a little bit. It's only 16 minutes in.
Listen, as a Navy guy, you speak the truth, my friend. It's like
I've got just as many hours as the Top Gun people. Oh my God. No. Shut up, nerd.
Look, I've got limited experience with P3 guys, but when I did my tour at CENTCOM, in between being an IP in the Hornet and my fleet tour, the guy I relieved was a P3 NFO. I don't even know what they call him. And he was a cool dude, but he explained to me the dynamics in the P3 community. And he literally told me, he's like, there are guys in my squadron that if I saw him on the side of the road and needed help, I just keep driving. To me, blew my mind. I'm like, man, like all those guys are like brothers to me, So it's very cutthroat. Like,
well, Pork Chop was cool. He was a like ASW or whatever, like the
right.
Like he wasn't.
Right.
It's the pilots that are weird.
I know.
I don't know what it is. I've flown with them at the airline, and you're like, why? I do everything standard, and then they don't. Like nothing. All got these. What? Anyway, it's from a different life.
Yeah.
Comment for your soup. Hi, Mover and Gonky from the small country of Ireland. Oh, cool. But it's a cool accent. Your mental health minutes and openness have helped so many. Be proud of all you've done. Good, because we have one of those tonight, probably.
I don't know what it is yet. Don't ruin it for me, Mover. I like the surprise.
Me neither, Doug. Don't ruin it. Don't ruin the surprise. You're the only one of us that has a PhD in this subject.
Yeah.
I don't think that counts for anything, though.
Quick, send out a mass text to all your people. We need a topic.
All right, I'll make
symbol.
one up. Stand by.
Make it, topical, not just any other, like something we don't know about. Andy says, Mover, heard about use of microwave weapon by Navy.
Maybe to heat up their hot pockets. I don't know.
All right, so where's the banner that says this ain't the news or nothing? Because we
this
don't.
This ain't the news or nothing.
We'll just say it's plenty of buffoonery to go around, and this ain't the news or nothing.
Even when I was tip of the spear carrier fighter pilot, if you asked me like what the capabilities of the surface Navy or the submariner, I had no idea. Like my guess is as good as yours. So I mean, even if Mover and I were back on the tip of the spear, we would still.
I think a lot of people don't understand how little we know about things that don't involve us. Because like I've seen these comments on our videos and my videos, even when I say the right thing, people are like, Mover, you're an Air Force pilot and you don't know about, whatever obscure jet. And it's like, dude, if I didn't fly it, kill it, or fly with it, I did not care about it.
Yeah. So there's a couple things. Like Mover's saying, as any operator, right? Any operator in the military, the goal is for you to become a specialist at whatever weapon platform you're on. In our case, it was airplanes. So that's what your focus is on. And trust me, there's plenty of stuff for you to study and keep you busy. You ain't got time to be reading other.
You're not a historian.
No.
You're not out there like, well, in 1955, like, dude, I don't like.
It's not Navy Jeopardy.
I went to all the nerd schools too. Like I went to the ones with the beeps and squeaks and stuff, and you don't get into it because you don't. It's not.
Well, the second part of that is also a need to know, which is
yeah, but a lot of people get like, well, you don't know about the F4? No, dude, because it didn't exist when I flew. Like, it wasn't something I needed to know about.
I know what it looks
I wasn't a mission commander with the, to need to know what kind of stuff I had. But anyway, I'm not a historian. Thomas says, I saw an F-16 take off and then ground crew sent him off with a fake bow and arrow. Oh, that's fancy.
That'll happen, yeah.
Maybe they were the archers.
Yeah.
Our pilot says, I like old stuff. You should an A7 pilot on.
Yeah, I don't know.
So here's what I got to tell you guys about this. When you say these things, first of all, this assumes we know everybody, which we don't. But second, if y'all want this to happen, you're going to have to start watching a lot more. I just did a phenomenal interview with a MiG pilot, and nobody watched it. So in order to keep things like that going, you're going to have to choose.
In order for Mover to keep his little light on in the back,
that light is funded by you watching the things that take hours to edit.
Yeah. I actually do know of one A7 pilot, but I mean, I don't know.
I've interviewed an A7 pilot.
Yeah. I don't know if.
Yeah. Go.
You have.
It's a cool jet. It's ugly.
Oregon flew the A7. We talked about it. So there you go. Already done. See, that means you don't watch it. And that means I've proven my point.
Dude, maybe he's new to the show.
Go watch my interviews.
Check the back catalog on Mover's channel.
Yeah. Subi, what's up, buddy? Mover, beard looks cool. Keep it. Gonky, catch up. There you go.
I'm probably going to shave tonight. We'll see.
Kevin says, Mover, with that beard, how soon till you were sitting outside yelling at people to get off my lawn?
Yesterday.
3 years ago.
I was going to say.
That's
it's
not,
already.
That's weird. I don't need a beard for that.
That's funny, man.
Fortunate father, unlike the fortunate son, you see. Ayatollah also liked his men with a beard, evidently. I heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear that, Gonky?
I thought it was a cultural thing. Is this an inside joke or something? I mean,
yeah, the intel brief says that the new Ayatollah likes men and was briefed to Trump. And then CNN got all mad because they're like, are you saying he's gay? That's a slur. It's like, that's not a slur. It's just what he was.
It's a fact. I mean,
he likes men.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what he's talking about. He's referring to that.
Gotcha.
It's current events, Gonky.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Thomas says, where is Luna Girl? She was here, and then she left. That's all her contract allows.
I put the link in chat for the first Oregon interview in case anybody's wondering what that link was.
I don't think that was the one with the A7. Well, I mean, they need to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, they need to watch all of them.
A7 part was later after he flew the Tomcat.
We don't have that kind of time.
Renee says, I like it smaller, no shorter, trimmed. Oh, Lord, none of those worked.
Thanks, Renee.
All right.
Don't overthink it.
I'm trying. The Tic Tac's got my back says I would be more concerned about Mover recognizing me in public. Look, dude, if I saw something that looked like that, I would run fast. Joe says Orion bullying, a good place to start. Thomas says microwaves for spicy cheese.
Pepper jack.
Mach says, by the way, Mover, flew with my first FO who knew you. Nice small world. Ex-Marine Hornet guy.
Look at that. Ex-Marine Hornet guy.
We're going to talk about some Marine Hornet guys here in a little bit. They're not good at flybys. Crazy Pete says, MiG pilot was great. Everybody go watch it. Yeah, see? USAF shoe. Gonky, let's talk about the Dazzler part of Helios. I don't know what that means, so I know Gonky doesn't know what that means.
Like helicopters?
Razzle dazzle.
Oh, there's nothing dazzling about a.
Anyway, AvGeek Joe says, Mover will watch American MiG pilot after you show. See, that's a good compromise. Robin says, watching you guys, the amount of knowledge required for just your platform, why would you attempt to learn other stuff? I think people think that there's it's like weekday wings when you go to pilot training, right? They're like, okay, and starting out in the 1920s. And it's like, dude, they don't have time to feed you that kind of garbage. I mean, there's a little bit of baseline stuff in, I don't know where you'd even do it. I heard they were doing it in ASBC, but it was like basic, like this is a C-17, because all the shoe clerks, nobody knows how to identify. PA. You know who needs this is PA.
Yeah. Yes.
If 100%. Anybody's got time and the necessity to know all the stuff, it's PA.
Yeah.
Renee said, your beard, silly, more cop like it's too big. Hold on now.
You're a cop.
That what she said. But second, this is within regulations of all law enforcement agencies in my area. So it's too big. Nobody says that. All right, dude, let's talk about what's going on in the world. It's been a very sad week. We lost Zeus 95, I believe is their call sign, March 12th, 2026. CENTCOM. This has probably been updated. We'll just use this as a starting point. Operation Epic Fury. There were no rescue efforts. So this is old Doug.
There's a newer link in the.
Yeah, all 6 passed away. There it is. KC-135 crew was lost in apparent midair with another tanker over friendly airspace. And there you can see the 6. Brand new major with 3 kids. and then a young lieutenant / captain. I think she was a captain by the time she, captain. And then the boom operators. And then I'm not sure about Koval because this picture has him with non-wings, but I thought I saw something like if he was like a relief pilot or something. I don't know what he was doing on the plane, but very unfortunate situation that they were assigned out of Ohio. Obviously, some were from Ohio, some were from various parts of the country, and just a real tough thing. Doug, do you have the picture of the aircraft?
It wouldn't load. Facebook has shown it is no longer available.
Perfect. Can you find it?
Yeah, I'll do my best.
But anyway, you can tell when you go look at the pictures, it's pretty bad. One did actually manage to make it back, and the other one obviously did not, and all 6 people were killed. Gonky, we talk about this a lot with, just the stuff we used to do, deconfliction and midair collision avoidance is always a big topic. Anytime you're in combat operations, anytime you're in peacetime operations, anytime you got a bunch of airplanes in one operating area. What are your thoughts on this as, we kind of get the initial reports?
Well, so I guess there was, my understanding of what happened was what was the call sign? Zeus? What'd you say it was?
I think it's Zeus 9.5.
Zeus 9.5. So the tanker that crashed, there were 6 people on it. Normally there's 3. They had basically a crew observing. So the way I understand it is they had like a new crew that just got there in country, and they were learning the procedures for what's going on over there. So there was another tanker crew basically shadowing the crew that was operating the airplane. And, unfortunately, they perished when this thing went down as well. Like you said, I think the half of them were from guard unit out at Rickenbacker. But yeah, it's a terrible tragedy, man. There was a picture of the jet that survived. So half of the vertical stabilizer is gone on that thing. At this point, it's kind of pure speculation to, guess, what angles did they hit? What was the geometry of the collision? But we're incredibly lucky that this aircraft was able to come back and land. The 135 in and of itself, I think, is susceptible to Dutch roll. I think the last 135 crash that we had was a result of that. So, and the rudder plays a big part in just, your yaw control, directional control of the aircraft. So, hats off to the crew of, Jet, 38 or 38017 here on getting that airplane back on the ground. These 135s, man, they are old birds. Both of these jets were built, I can't remember, in the early 60s. They're, they were in Vietnam for, surely they've been upgraded. I've ridden on them here in the past couple of years. I think Mover, you were with me when we did one of the hurricane evacuations of the T-38s. We flew out to get them and bring them back. You weren't with us. All right. Well, I rode on one. It's relative.
I've ridden on them before, but
yeah, relative glass cockpit up there. But, deconfliction wise, dude, it's, a large scale air operation, kind of like what we're seeing over there right now. The opportunity for a mistake in an accident is definitely there. I've had my own semi-close call with the 135, and I'm sure that there's many, many more that, by the grace of God, nothing happened. And unfortunately, this time something did happen. So being an Air Force accident, there will be an investigation by the Air Force. And I don't know, here in a year or so, whatever, we'll probably get the details of what happened. But
yeah, and a lot of people. So one of the things that has come out is, and I remember this when I went to water survival, when they took out the parachutes.
yeah,
They used to have parachutes in these aircraft, and the reason they had parachutes, a lot of people think, well, that would have saved them. The reason they had parachutes was for a Cold War scenario where they were going to refuel, something going into a one-way strike, and then to give all the gas they had flame out in a very controlled manner and bail out. That was their plan. What happened in the 2000s is they looked at it and decided that, how realistic is that? Well, first of all, they weren't training to that Cold War scenario anymore. And second, the odds of you ever in another situation needing that parachute didn't justify the extra weight and the expense of packing and having all the various life support AFE people to maintain those parachutes. So they got rid of it. So in this situation, a lot of people are pissed, because they're like, well, if they had the parachutes, I think we need to temper that a little bit, because in a midair collision, you're not in a controlled bailout situation, right? If you are, maybe, but if you're in like a wings off, or, the tail hits the cockpit, or, something where the aircraft has the disassembly in the air, parachutes aren't going to do you any good, because by the time you get from the cockpit all the way to the back, you're in the air. It's just like the KC-130 that came apart over Mississippi, or other in-flight, collisions and breakups. Without an ejection seat, or without you sitting in the seat, I don't see that as being something that would have helped. Unfortunately, I hate to say that, but I don't like the false hope that, well, if they'd have just done this one thing, because the whole thing is horrible. And, I don't know about you, Gonky, but, when I heard about this, it hit me hard, because, I have had my butt saved by tanker dudes and dudettes many times throughout my career, from simple things like, hey, I forgot to get a PPR and I had a tanker guy dragging me and they made the phone calls for me, to, in combat, they give you the gas that they can because they're there. I don't know. Do you have a different take, Gonky? What do you think about the parachute thing?
I heard that argument, and here's the thing: it's who's to say at this point, because we don't know the details of the demise of the KC-135 that went down. So, all I will say, and I kind of wish Wombat was on, because we had a E2 crash. I think it had to do with the engine failing and the prop not feathering, something like that. But it's such a sad story, because the aircraft commander, he stayed with the airplane to fight it and keep control of it while everybody else bailed out, and they just have, parachutes on their back. They just jump out. And then he didn't make it, unfortunately. You're right. If the airplane broke apart, like you said, in the KC-135, people aren't wearing their parachutes. You gotta, and it's a big airplane, right? It's 140 feet long, right? You gotta run 100 feet this way, put that thing on, run back to I think they have a hatch they can open, and a whole process. And if the airplane is not relatively stable, it's just not going to happen. And there's, sitting here, not being in a KC-135 that's not flying apart, I can say it probably wouldn't made a difference, but I can see the argument of like, why not at least give them the chance, because we don't know at this point. There's been plenty of You know, in World War II, when B-17s, when bombers would get hit, sometimes when the airplane's coming apart and it's spinning, the force of the airplane spinning, you know, keeps you in your seat. You can't get up. Even in fighters, just because you have an ejection seat doesn't mean you're going to make it. I mean, you know, in my squadron, 11 and Beefcake, they tried to punch out, they didn't make it, right? So even ejection seats won't save you. The accident was caused by two airplanes colliding. That, you know, that needs to be the focus, so this never happens again. So, you know, hopefully their lives weren't lost in vain. As far as the dude, I really don't have an opinion on the parachute thing. I would have to see the. It's going to be heartbreaking if they had control of that airplane for a couple minutes after the collision, you know, and then lost it, because then that would be an opportunity. But, you know, that's just me looking, you know, trying to look for.
I don't think so. I
don't either.
I don't think so, dude. The KC-135 is a tough bird. You know, it is a tough. I mean, if you look at that picture of the like KC-1, like the skin's wrinkled, like it's missing the tail. Now going back to that other one, not you were talking about the Dutch roll characteristics, but just think, they are fortunate that it didn't FOD one of those engines, because with half your rudder missing. And they did, if you go look at the flight aware, they did some controllability check, because that's what you do, right? You do a controllability check. You burn down fuel, declare an emergency. Maybe if there's a fighter around, you get them to come look at you and see what you're looking at. I mean, not that they can do anything, but they can chase you and kind of tell you what's going on. But the crew of the one that landed had their work cut out for them. And we are going to mourn the loss of Zeus 9.5, but you also probably just lost for combat operations the other crew as well. Because first off, you got the investigation going, but second, the mental toll of, depending on the angle of the crash, they witnessed it. You know, they felt it, they experienced it. There's obviously probably some survivor's guilt involved.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I cannot imagine. Just think if you were in your fighter and you watched that happen. Yeah. And there was from what I understand, there was another aircraft that also was in trail and watched the whole thing. And the mental toll on that, and then you have to go out and keep flying, or you say, hey, look, that was too much for me. I need some time. One thing of note, the open source places on internet pointed out that the very next day, all the tankers in that region were squawking.
Right.
So you could see them on FlightAware. Now, I'm pretty sure the KC-135 has TCAS, because I think that's what they use for formation keeping and stuff. All that could have been turned off based on combat operations and what you're emitting and stuff like that. When you turn all that stuff off, you are 100% relying on the air tasking order and the special instructions to get you in the right altitude block. Because I think what people don't understand are like, how does this happen? The big sky theory. Big sky theory works until it doesn't. And combat, it's a very hectic environment. It's nighttime, so it's dark. Fatigue can kind of set in depending on how long the mission has been. Fog of war, all that stuff. And now you are tasked with this big, thick packet, or electronic now, or however they have it, that has all the call signs, all the different entry blocks, exit blocks, what altitude this person's at, what altitude that. And all it takes is one person to get a little bit of dyslexia, or a little bit of, I think that says, 24, not 34, or whatever. Get the numbers flipped. Just a little bit off. And the difference between you had 2,000 feet of clearance to you're running into each other is just that easy. So it's not something that like was malicious, or somebody went out and said, hey, I want this to happen today. All it takes is one little mistake, and then somebody else doesn't catch it, and then the Swiss cheese lines up, and the next thing you know, we're mourning the loss of 6 service members.
Well, like you said, every day there's basically it's called the ATO, the air tasking order, and it comes out, and it basically hey, for this area, we're going to need whatever, 5 tankers. And they lay out the tanker track plan, right? And there's deconfliction built in there. And, it's, everybody, each tanker obviously is, studies the day's plan, because there's going to be other airborne assets that are going to rely on that fuel so they can go do the mission. I don't think, like you're saying, man, it's nothing malicious, right? It's just a fact of a lot of airplanes in a relatively small airspace, and it's still probably pretty new. I mean, how many sorties could they have done between the start of this Iran thing like a couple weeks ago to now, right? So, and it's an evolving. I'm sure it's an evolving.
I'm sure the tracks are moving every day based on which airspace is good, which airspace is.
Exactly. So you got a fast moving ball game. It's still relatively new. A lot of coalition aircraft in a relatively small piece of sky. And like you said, man, all it takes is you switch. One time in my career, flying the 38, I got my blocks mixed up. I was in the wrong block, and thankfully I had no idea I was in the wrong block. I didn't find out till we got back to the debrief, and I found out because at the beginning we were like any safeties, and they called me out. And sure enough, one of the other red players like, yeah, I saw this T-38 and he was in my block. And but if
dude,
that's a potential for a collision, is because I literally looked down on my card and I just read the wrong number. And these things can happen. We have things that we do to mitigate it, but
even if you're in your block, I mean, it doesn't even have to be that. I was in a 38, because we say the T-38 stories, because most of my block stories are all T-38, because that airplane you lived and died by the block, because you didn't have any other sensors, you didn't have situational awareness. But I was kill removing in my block, 90 to the fight, and I had a brand new lieutenant that had just come to the squadron, and he said, "Hey, 2 o'clock high," and it was an F-22 blitzing right in front of us.
Yeah.
And dude, I mean, I was like, they had no idea. We got to the debrief. He had no idea. And you're like, well, if a Raptor, can make that mistake, anybody can. It's just somebody thought they had SA that they didn't have.
Yeah. I think most fighter pilots, for sure, even tanker guys, I would say, if you ask them, really, what are you concerned about during a large force exercise? Deconfliction.
Yeah. Don't 100%. Hit me. Don't hit somebody else. It's a deconfliction flag at red flag.
And this was at night too, right? Yeah. Man, at night.
And I don't even, do they wear goggles?
Man, I don't know.
I can't see why they would, but
I don't think I highly doubt that
I would imagine they're covert lighting, on autopilot, staying in there like we wouldn't need to.
Yeah. The safe bet is to be in your block with autopilot on.
Yeah.
Doing your thing. But yeah, dude, it's very sad. I just can't imagine. It's a high cost. I mean, I don't know. It's high price to pay, man. It sucks. Especially when you read about, and I'm from Ohio, right? And been to Rickenbacker many times. I've probably taxied right past that airplane, but you just, you read a little bit about each of the members that were killed, and it definitely makes, we've said it before, man. I wish peace would break out over the whole world and we would have nothing to talk about. Be kind of nice.
Yeah. And the major, there's GoFundMe out there for him and his family.
Yeah, that's right.
I wish that weren't necessary as well. I mean,
crazy, isn't it? Dude, it's brand new twin girls, right? And his little boy.
Just now that poor woman's got 3 kids. The boom operator, the female, was a mother.
Yeah,
right. I mean, their mom is not.
Yeah, dude. It's terrible. Like I said, it's
I think part of it, why it's so hard to kind of wrap your mind around, is because we don't really talk about, like, fighters. Okay, it's a risk. Flying fast jets is a dangerous business, but tankers, you know, that to me, that's the hard part, you know, because that's not what you think about.
You're right. It's usually it's a pretty safe bet, but I mean, dude, it is a military operation.
That's true.
It is a military jet. I mean, you know, I remember I've tanked off of many a 135, and I remember being over Afghanistan, and you talk about the wrinkles in the skin. I remember the first time I tanked on a 135 when I was, you know, just hanging out on the wing. I looked at that thing, and she's got some miles on her, and I just thought, man, those guys and gals are riding around inside that thing. I'm like, they're brave. No ejection seat. I didn't even know they had parachutes back then. That would have been probably the last couple of years they had it. But I just remember thinking, like, dude, I think I would be more afraid to be in that thing over bad guy territory than in the Hornet.
Oh, I rode in one for the Hervac, coming back, and you crawl in through the little hatch, you know, to get in, and you're like, why are we in this hatch? Yeah. And then I watched the landing, but I was kind of far back, so I was out. They had the door open, and I'm like, "There's the runway. There's no runway. No runway." I'm like, "What are we doing?
Yeah,
this isn't stable."
No, it's my hat's off to those guys.
Yeah.
Like you said, dude, they're like tanker. We make fun of tanker guys all the time because they deserve it. But dude, so many times, right? They've saved my bacon. So my hat's off to the whole community, and it's very sad because, like you said, it is rare in combat operations to lose them. So because they're vital, dude, you can't do it. Fighters are basically worthless if you don't have the tanker gas up there.
Yeah. Let's see if there's anything from the audience that's relevant. Joe says, is it common to do high-risk aviation training in an already high-risk environment like combat ops, or could one tanker have been refueling the other?
So there's only a couple of 135s that can receive airborne. I learned this today. So I don't know if this was one of them. To be honest, I don't think so. I mean, thinking about the tail damage on that one, you know, the geometry of it all, I just don't know if, like you were tanking, how you would knock the top part of a tail off. I don't know. I mean,
I don't think they were refueling. I think that's, I don't know though. I mean,
but you do. I mean, we did training during OEF and OIF, not in country, but you know, at some point you had to go in the fight for the first time, and usually you were paired up with a very senior JO or one of the department heads or skipper. I mean, that was kind of training.
I did training in Iraq over Basra.
In country
with a British JTAC. We did.
Really?
We didn't have any tasking, so we were running 9 lines.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was giving me training 9 lines. I was like, verify, you know, not in ARM, not in sim, master arm off.
I'd be like, hey,
hit the pickle button.
This is fun, but how about a flyby?
Yeah. But to answer their question, this was not that kind of training. What you suggested, Gonky, was they just had the crew shadowing, which is a lot different than a dedicated training ride. So they were shadowing on real world ops.
That's what I heard.
Because that's what they can do. I haven't heard that, so would make sense because, I mean, there were quite a few people.
Right. Because they don't need, I think they used to have 4 people in the tanker, but they got rid of the nav, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like in the 130 community, right? It's just 2 pilots and a.
Paul says, KC 135, you have to snap the boom off before you jump or you hit it. Yeah, you're going out though. I think that was part of it too, as they said that you would hit part of the fuselage. 4
giant engines, boom. I mean,
I think it's what it's so much like the DCA ADSB thing, where people will glom on to one thing that, you know, is a good idea, but they're like, if they'd have just had that, it's like, come on, man, that wouldn't change anything in this scenario. More than likely, it is irrelevant, but you're going to glom onto that and be mad.
Well, and the other thing is, generally speaking, I think big airplanes that had parachutes, I mean, they weren't even, my understanding is that they weren't even in really a combat area, right? So, I mean, typically, like if
northern Iraq, I mean,
yeah, you know, like in World War II, right? I mean, would they be wearing the chutes all the time, or do they wear them?
Depending on which crew member. Some crew members wore them. Some of them put them on after.
Right. So I don't even know back when they carried chutes what their protocol would be as far as if you would ever wear them or when you would go to wear them. I mean, I think you're right, man. It's
no.
Unfortunately, you know, it's just something that people are going to glom off on. I mean,
yeah. Yeah. Fortunate Father says condolences to the families. I've both lost friends and taken life. Neither is an easy thing. I hope the families of these airmen women take some consolation from knowing their sacrifices meant something. Much love, respect. Thanks.
Yeah,
thank you. You're absolutely correct.
Thanks, man.
RS Calzo 40 says, I was offered a ride on KC-135 mission many years ago with something ARW. Probably 108 ARW. That aircraft had parachutes in the rear. They told me that no one was ever getting off the aircraft by using a chute. Yeah. I remember because when I went to water survival, we had a guy that was there as a 135 guy, and he had to, because you train with whichever fittings you use, you know, and they have the T-38 parachute. And I remember talking to him, and they're like, dude, we're never, this is a waste of my time. Like, we're never going to use this.
Yeah.
Misfit says, according to Blanco Lirio's breakdown, they had been airborne for 12 hours.
Well, then, like you said earlier, Mover, I mean, fatigue. I mean, you know, if you're airborne for 12 hours and there's probably a lot going on with radios and just, you know, working the mission and stuff. And you're probably, I don't know, with another crew watching, you're probably trying to do some teaching and stuff. I mean, fatigue sets in. It's easy to make little mistakes, man.
Joe says, nobody kicks ass without tanker gas. Rest in
That's
peace.
true.
Absolutely. True story. Porky Pig says, glad to hear that I was one of the few that watched. Oh, this is not related, but we appreciate it anyway. Watch the MiG interviews. I can listen to that guy tell stories all day. Yeah. Ethor says they were from Rickenbacker International Airport in Columbus, Ohio, 121st Air Refueling Wing. I'll be there in June as that's where they hold the air show.
Wow. Yeah.
All right. That is all the comments for that. So now we can just do the comments for everything else. Oh, wait, no, we got one more. Boris says, can't imagine how the crew of the other KC-135 feels.
Yeah, dude, those things, yeah, I don't know. And if there was a fireball, dude, I mean, like, we're talking like hundreds of thousands, like over 100,000 pounds of fuel. So, I mean, and at night, like, you know, more than just the people in the immediate area would see it.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's not good. No.
All right. Thank you, Flake F15E. Doug, if you find his actual comment, please.
Been watching.
Or Flack.
Flack
E. I don't know. It's confidential. Same thing. Thank you, though. Thomas says, Gonky, is there a big difference when you're fully loaded on a cat launch than when you're light?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, when you come off the end, when she's light, it leaps off the end. When you're heavy, she kind of mushes. So, yeah. I always rather be slick.
Pork Chop says, what's up? I heard I just had an honorable mention on the show. We love you, Pork Chop.
Yes, we love P3's Pork Chop.
We love Pork Chop. I don't know about
we do.
P3 pilots.
That's awesome. Should have told
Douglas says, can I have a shout out for my sister who just completed her first solo on Saturday? Congratulations.
Congrats.
Renee says it's just a female thing. Kevin says, Captain Butch Wilmore is an A7 F-18 pilot. It's a great story about dodging SAMs in his time at NASA. That's cool.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Matt says, hello from Night Shift Police Dispatch in Maryland.
Hey, man. Hey, stay safe. Stay vigilant out there.
Well, if he's a dispatch.
Yeah, that's true.
But we do love our dispatchers, though. Pork Chop says, "Love you guys. It's been way too long."
It has.
Yeah.
It has.
But yes, we miss old Pork Chop. Okay, and we'll touch on this as part of the KC-135 thing. But to add injury to insult there, not insult to injury, but 5 Air Force refueling planes were hit in the Iranian strike on Saudi Arabia. Wall Street Journal's report that Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia, there were 5 that were part of the Iranian missile strike in recent days. Damaged but not fully destroyed are now being repaired, adding that no one was killed. What it highlights, and there were, I think, 10 UAVs as well. One was shot down by actually another friendly fire incident. But for this one, that now takes the capacity of tankers down from, however many were in theater by 7.
That's a lot.
Right? That is a huge.
Yeah.
Now, they said damage, they're going to be repaired, but, in the immediate future, dude, that's a huge hit. And when we say nobody kicks ass without tanker gas, we're not just joking. It's a cool saying, but air refueling is what separates us from many, many countries, because that is a range extender, that is endurance, that is time on station. Air refueling is huge. Logistics wins wars, and that's part of your logistics pipeline.
Yeah, I mean, not only does the 135 carry fuel, but it also has a giant cargo door on the side of it. They carry pallets of supplies and stuff. So, we're not only missing fuel for the jets for the fight, but supplies, right, for the bases and whatnot. When I saw this, it just highlights, man. We've been talking for a while now about drones. Like, how do we stop this drone threat? Who's in charge of knocking these things down? And if you look, these little Shahed drones are just, if you saw one flying like 10 years ago, you'd be like, oh, look at that cute little thing, right? Just humming along with this little weed whacker engine going full tilt. You look at the map, dude, that base is just like south-ish of Riyadh, and that's well in the country of Saudi. So I had to cross the Gulf and a whole lot of real estate to get there.
Undetected.
Yeah, undetected, or even if it was detected, they're unable to shoot it down. And we're talking about like a hobby quality drone, like an RC airplane, basically with a warhead on it, being successful. I mentioned it last week. Literally, World War II worse than World War II technology, right? At least the V1s were jet powered, right? These things are like lawnmower powered, probably with wooden props, who knows? But it's pretty spectacular that Iran, using these, I'm going to say, primitive type weapons, is able to inflict this much damage on the U.S. military. I'm not saying that in any other regard other than the fact that it's eye-opening, and they need to be taken seriously, obviously, dude. Because like you said, in a week, you can't lose 7 tankers.
Yeah, and there was a video today, I think, or I saw it today, of a CRAM taking out a drone in the embassy. It was Baghdad, U.S. embassy in Baghdad in Iraq.
Really?
And yeah, and did it. I mean, the thing exploded midair. It got pretty close, but it exploded midair. The thing about those is that it's saturation.
Right.
I mean, you only need to get one in to cause a considerable amount of damage. And that's why we're going to talk about this here in a little bit about, UAE helicopters that were going after them. And one was not very successful, unfortunately. But it's critical. And, the lessons learned in Ukraine obviously are being taught here as well, because Ukraine has been dealing with this for a while, and they've have counter UAS systems and stuff. And Ukraine has also used UASs. Remember, we did the fiber optic drone strike where they 18-wheelers in country and launched them with the wires and took out a whole bunch of critical infrastructure, critical targets, bombers and such for the Russians. So yeah, you're 100% correct. It is and continues to be a massive threat. That's not to say it's not something that can be overcome, though.
Right. I'm not saying it can't be overcome. I'm just, it's that whole shift, it's that whole shift of mindset of you don't need a gigantic, massive, expensive Air Force to cause damage. I'm not saying like they're going to win. I'm just saying that relatively speaking, this is a pretty inexpensive yet highly effective way of inflicting, I'd say, pretty major damage. Yeah, okay, you didn't totally destroy them, but they're out of the fight even for a day, right? It makes it makes a big difference, and there's probably some of them that are out for more than a day. So,
yeah,
how does that affect the ATO for the next day? I mean, how many attack aircraft are not going to get their fuel now because we're missing 7 tankers? Now, granted, 2 of them were destroyed or damaged, 1 destroyed from a midair, and these 5 were from a drone. But still, like, it's eye-opening, and
the fortunate thing is that the KC-135 is a reliable aircraft, because if you combined this with, hey, it's always broken, holy crap, dude, tanker's broke.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know.
And they're old.
Dude.
I mean, dude, 60 plus years old.
Early 60s. Yeah, like I think most of the fleet are like Vietnam vet jets, right? I mean,
I bet you anything though that the older tankers still have a better FMC rate than the new ones. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Well, back then they kept it simple, right? I mean,
they built to last.
Yeah.
Let's see. Colin says deep intel mentioned Sam call out while F-135 refueling another 135, but again, that's nonsense.
Sam call out.
No, it's nonsense.
Yeah,
don't get your news from Mario. Joe Baxter says mid-air rearming win. Better bring your go pills. Ugh. Yeah. Crisco says, as a civilian in my youth, I received an incentive ride to sit jump seat of a 141. Taking gas from a KC-10. Much respect for old school Mac. That's an incentive.
Star lift.
An incentive to do what?
Incentive flight.
I know, but that sounds like a punishment.
Dude, I don't know. Listen, in college, if I got an incentive ride in any military jet, it would have been good. The problem, mover, is you've been on the tippity tip of the spear now. You know too much, right? Back before,
so back on the shaft of the spear is better.
Back when we were riding the feathers.
Yeah.
The back of the
get a ride on the shaft instead of the tip. It's fine.
Yeah.
Benjamin says, Gonky, speaking of detection of the Shahed, watch one overfly a PAT battery just to hit an industrial site here in KWT.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
It's also Kuwaiti.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kuwaiti, there was we're not going to cover this because it's stupid, but there was open source intel that Kuwaiti pilot got charged, but no one has verified it, and it's probably wrong.
We will never know the truth.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. That's my guess, but it's now being reported on social media that pilot has been charged. I doubt it, but
I doubt it too.
Sounds like the sources I made it up.
He might not be flying anymore.
I don't think anything's happening.
Yeah.
Anyway, Boris says Russia sending to Iran to their copy of the Shahed to Iran now. There were debris found in Dubai. Yeah. We'll blow them up.
Yeah.
Thai 777 5-door. Big Jet Jetty or Big Jet TV? Dangerous combo. I think it's Big Jet TV is what his plate says. Dangerous combo. 5th century ideology meets 21st century tech. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, having a gay,
pretty progressive.
That is pretty progressive. I mean, the U.S. hasn't done that yet.
Dude, I mean, Iran being a very Islamic state, I find it kind of hard to believe, but that's just me.
The heart wants what the heart wants, Gonky.
Dude. Yes, Mover, that's true.
Oh, man. Ariana was about to be a major, by the way, just catching up, and she was one of my friends from training. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Sorry.
I say that because everything they've posted, of course, the media, right? They get it all wrong. You know, it's all first lieutenant. Like that one guy, I think he's a pilot, but all the pictures they show of him is whatever his AFSC was, like if he's intel or whatever, before being a pilot. So all his pictures have no wings.
Right.
So you're sitting there trying to go, what was his job? And the media doesn't understand the 2 crew thing.
Yeah.
So, but man, I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
That's very sad. Thanks for the comment.
Terrible. Oh, you know what? Let's cover something lighter. The Arlington Grand Prix flyover.
Oh, this makes me sad.
Yesterday. And we got a direct text from Skid as soon as it happened. Doug, play it from the beginning, because if you don't, we'll miss it completely with sound. It's only 11 seconds.
Just confirming that we're good to go. Here we go.
They're kind of in formation too, so that's nice. All right, so if my hack is correct, they're on gleaming. Right?
Yeah.
Yep, gleaming.
Which
are those Marine Hornets?
Yeah, from NASGRB New Orleans or Carswell, Fort Worth.
Yeah, wow.
So they're on gleaming.
That's pretty early.
Which is, oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? So that's the second line. We hope you show up on the Brave. I think they got enough time to spin it back around and do it again, and arrive on time this time. This is like the pre.
Maybe they got the IP mixed up with the.
Somebody who was there, in fairness, said that they started the song very late.
Early?
Wouldn't it be late?
Yeah, you're right. It would be late.
Yeah.
Such good formation, man. I just can't believe.
It's okay formation. I mean, we've seen worse. It's not like that F-35 that was doing, ended up in front of them.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to make excuses for my my
Marine brothers. But... I mean, the excuse is they're in Legacy Hornets.
Dude, that jet can nail a. I've done it. It has the same capabilities as the Rhinoceros, most of it, to nail the timing. Something had to happen, like you said. Maybe they didn't start on time, or that's pretty off.
It reminds me of the other side of this, where the flyover occurs like at a baseball game and they're already walking out, or over the wrong stadium. It's
at least the wrong stadium. They might be able to spin it back around.
Yeah. I think they had time to spin it back around here. Like, come on, boys, one more.
Yeah.
Now, would you
loosen it up a little bit?
Yeah. Would you do that? No, because you don't want to lose your wings. And really, what's the worst that happens? You end up on the Mover and Gonky show. We laugh, and then you move on with your career. They're still flying. We're not.
Yeah, the Cowboys, man, they're a reserve squadron. So, they kind of weekend warriors. I mean, they're all very competent pilots, but they came in, flying the Hornet a little bit outside their airline job, and yeah, maybe had a little too much fun with it. Didn't get the timing right. I don't know. Again, I'm just trying to make excuses for my.
Maybe they didn't have a ground guy. They
good.
didn't have their own skid on the ground, and they just pushed on time to make the TOT, and they didn't get the update that the whole thing had been Rolexed 5 minutes.
That's important news. That
yeah,
I don't know.
That's the deep intel you want. That's the
that's the only intel you want. When does the song start?
If you could hold
does it take for
key the radio and let me listen? If they keyed the radio, it would have been a big hint for this one, because there would be no song for half of their run-in.
Can you imagine? It's like, we're pushing. Sing faster. Sing faster. Sing faster. We got to get to the end of this song.
Skip half of it. And the home of the brave.
Right. Just go right to the punchline.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. We don't know the details. Like you said, maybe they didn't have a skid. You know, maybe, I don't know.
The skid in chat.
It's pretty off, though.
Skid is definitely in chat. Check the starred list.
Oh, has he been? Oh, okay, here we go. Skid says, okay, they did move the race start up. Start up? If they're earlier, they'd be late.
Yeah.
I don't do it. Math is hard.
Maybe they delayed it. The thing is, so what town was this in again?
Arlington.
Arlington. So I don't know what the airspace is like around
DFW, like, American Airlines.
We talked about many times before. The what?
American Airlines ruined it.
Oh, well, like we said in the past, dude. Once you push out in the formation, you're kind of committed. If you don't have like a turn point or something that you can manipulate the timing.
Again, just one little 360. Right over the stadium.
Listen it up, boys.
Yeah.
Here comes the burners. We need to make this one a tight one. Loud and proud, baby.
Yeah. Here's my wings.
I love it. Yeah. They're all Delta dudes, man. They don't care.
Ozymandias says, as always, enjoy the work you both put in. Gonky, why is it so bright today? I was wondering that myself. Kind of looks like you got daylight outside your room. Time zone are you in?
Is that better?
It's not bad. It looks like it's coming from your window.
Well, I was experimenting with the lighting in here, and that seems to be the best place for the main source of lighting for this room.
Do you have one of those chairs?
The
Raptor chair, if you will.
Chairs.
The F-22 chair. You watch all your friends have fun, and you sit there and watch. No. Man, nobody gets my jokes anymore. LeBray says, even the Ayatollah is a victim of don't ask, don't tell.
Oh, dude. That's funny.
Joe Baxter says, spicy cheese is greater than spicy crayons. Oorah.
Love it. Thanks, man.
Hawkeye says, the start of the race was moved up an hour because of severe wind. The wind! They had a 500 knot ground speed.
Maybe.
300 knot tailwind.
Yeah. The TOT carrot would have been like through the bottom, though.
Oh, yeah. I doubt it.
Oh, boy. Here we go. I can't wait. Zuzgalu says, what's wrong with the Rio? Were you talking about Ward Carroll? I always thought both you guys and him were pretty cool. No need to read my name. Well, it's too late. You should have put that before your name, because I start right at the top. I start at the top and work my way down.
That's what comes first.
I read it all, baby. Gonky, your thoughts?
I don't have a problem with Mooch. I mean, listen, we make fun of Wizzos, Rios, Tanker, non-fighter guys we make fun of, and they make fun of us. So it's all good. But we're right. Continue.
Nate says, I got it, Mover. Every hotel has that chair. Yeah, I can't say it because of the stream, but y'all know what I'm talking about.
They're getting auto modded trying to say it over on Twitch.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to. Tiberius 3023 says, mainly a question for Mover. Who? Why is the 737 so loud inside compared to the Airbus? Because it was designed in 1941 when Boeing still hated pilots. I don't know why. It's why
they didn't understand aerodynamics back then, dude.
Why does it have the operator panel from the 60s in 2020, whatever we're in? Because Boeing.
Sound insulation from the 60s, too.
Why does it have a big circuit breaker panel behind you? Because Boeing, 60s. It's all like based off the 707.
I blame Southwest. I blame Southwest.
Blame them all. Just enabling it. Tom says they heard go around were for quitters and got confused. Bring it around, boys. We'll do one more. All right, back to the sad stuff, Gonky. Last week, we covered a UAE Apache doing the work. This week, the news is not so good. So a helicopter pilot in the UAE fired an Iranian Shahed 136 drone, which exploded near the helicopter, causing the helicopter to crash and killing both pilots. This actually happened on the day we covered it. It was just like breaking news that they had lost a helicopter. And then this has come out that they were actually doing an air defense mission and taking it out. So we saw on one end where it worked really well. And then we saw the other, which is the risk. And we've talked about this with Ukraine. We've talked about this with this mishap. Anytime you get close to something that's explosive with the gun, you're at risk. Do you have thoughts, or am I frozen?
Sorry, you froze up there for a second. Yeah, dude. I mean, you talked about the risk of it last week. I mean, not only to gun something, even in a fighter, you got to get relatively close to it. But then, it's as you like to say, unscheduled rapid disassembly, and parts are flying in directions that, anybody's best guess, which means you're in real danger of flying through the debris. And in this case, these drones have warheads. So if the warhead detonates, that's additional debris and obviously the hazard from the blast. So I don't know how close these Apaches have to get to score these hits. 30 millimeter cannon, right? On the Apache, I think, which is, it's got significant range, but again, I don't know how close that thing has to get, inside of probably a mile for sure. So now granted, the speeds are a little closer than like what we would be used to in a fighter, but in a helicopter, I don't know maneuverability wise at lower altitudes, and a helicopter are you pretty maneuverable down there if stuff's flying around at you? Or is this a case of you think maybe they're so fixed, target fixation is the thing. So they're so fixated on putting the gun sight on the drone to score the hit that maybe they're not paying attention to the debris that's coming off it, or maybe they got a little too close per their rules of engagement when engaging a drone. I don't know, but sadly,
well, if there are
whatever happened, correct, yeah.
It's a helicopter,
it's
right?
Sad. Yeah.
And
I go full circle back to, you look at these drones are low tech, inexpensive, and you could now add the loss of an Apache crew and an Apache, to the list of damage and destruction these inexpensive, cheap, yet very effective drones are causing. It's eye-opening, man. It's very sad. I know. My thoughts and prayers to the two pilots that lost their lives. That's no bueno.
Yeah, and what I was saying about it's a helicopter is, unlike F-16, which we do believe one of the mishaps with the F-16 was, flying through that. You got the big spinny thing on top. You get
Right.
any damage to that rotor, and all bets are off. I mean, your ability to auto rotate, your ability to fly, continue any kind of flight. You hit the tail rotor, you can find yourself in a situation where you're along for the ride. And it's very unfortunate, like you talked about, because this crew was doing what they did and what they had to do to defend their homeland and paid the ultimate price for it. So
Yeah,
that's a tough one,
Yeah.
man. Sucks that we're having to talk about that.
yeah.
Lance says 737, the Fat Amy of airliners.
It's awesome.
Boris says Boeing safety standards are from the 60s too. Kara Quinn says, why you use $5,000 drones versus $35,000 drones? Get smarter. Yeah.
Okay.
Skid says it was a hard target ceasefire, 3,500 for the Hog.
Oh wow, that's pretty close in in an airplane.
I mean, you're 1,000 feet on the gun with the Hornet.
Yeah.
But
I don't know though, man.
You're shooting
That's
an
another aerial
explosive.
target. I don't know, dude.
Yeah. The other part too is, to your point, being an aerial target, right? It's easy to gauge distance and closure rates with something that's relative size to what you're flying, because that's what you get used to seeing. But drones are very small, the 8-foot wingspan. It's easy to misjudge your closure rates and misjudge how far you are from it if you're just doing it visually. And that could be exactly what they were doing.
Yeah. And again, how much training did the Apache guys get for downing aerial targets before this thing kicked off? I mean, did they get any? I don't know. So they might be, like you said, man, they might just be making this up as they go. And that is a dangerous way to do business, although sometimes it's the way you have to do it.
That's how most combat is. Somebody brings a new tactic in, and you just have to adapt and improvise. But there is a successful one. Here it looks like a Black Hawk is taking one out. You can see the drone there.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like a minigun. Like from on the side door, the door gunners or something. I mean, if you look at the aspect angle, that's, you can see actually.
Door on the other side.
Stop it. Right. You could kind of see the smoke coming off the gun.
I'm trying to catch.
There it is. Stop. You see the smoke coming off the side gun?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the minigun off the front forward quarter. He's still shooting it, making sure it's going to die. Which begs the question. I know perspective is kind of a thing, but is it, how far away from that urban area are they?
That's what I was thinking. What angles he's shooting, but like you said, look at that background. That's a major city.
Where are you throwing bullets? Behind, like, what's the backdrop? You always think about what you're shooting and what's behind what you're shooting when you're throwing bullets down range, especially when you're spray and praying a little bit.
Right. Exactly.
But man,
yeah, dude,
it's a pretty populous area in downtown.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know where that drone was headed, but I mean,
Well, they've been getting
downing
hit.
those things in an area like, sorry. I was just gonna say, down in those things in a populated area like that, man, that's really sketchy. Because I mean, you could shoot it and your bullets, hit the water or whatever if there's water in between there. But I mean, that thing's, the debris from that thing still might go, into the city.
A stray round. I'm thinking of the rounds.
Or stray round, yeah, exactly.
It looks like it didn't explode. It looks like it just crashed.
Yeah.
But
right.
I mean, wow.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think about like when we were in country, when I was strafing, dropping weapons, there was nobody else around. I mean, there was friendlies on the ground that I was very concerned about where they were. But I mean, imagine doing combat ops like in this environment.
Well, you had risk distances too. You had distances where, you wouldn't strafe. Like if there was a friendly on the other side of what you were strafing, you wouldn't strafe that direction. But I don't know that they have a choice here, because I'm sure that Black Hawk is doing everything it can to keep up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is pretty push it up air defense right here. I mean,
yeah. I hope our Customs and Border Patrol brethren are studying up.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the whole, I don't know. Back when I was taught air defense, I always thought it starts at like long range, right?
Yeah.
Long range weapons, then maybe it has to get through some sort of air assets, and then Patriot batteries, and then guns. But that was all more manned aircraft or cruise missile style thinking. These little things just blow my mind how effective they are and how close they can get.
Yeah, well, again, what happens when you do like what the Ukrainians did, where you put them in trucks?
That's right, man.
And you truck them into wherever you need to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no question it's effective.
UHK, also, he's a UH-60 pilot. Former AH-64 30-millimeter rounds are high explosive, dual purpose. Round can punch through armor plate. Range is 1,500 to 1,700 meters.
Oh, wow.
Patrick, you say.
Okay.
Oh, I know you're American.
That's pretty far.
Yeah.
Meters, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Times 3-ish.
Times 2. I'm running out of toes.
G
Walker says, just logged in. Gonky upgraded from the garage to a real room.
Yeah, this is temporary. I'm in a hotel, which my apologies. My internet appears to be a little spotty. So
that's why we keep interrupting each other, because it sounds like it's like a 40 millisecond delay every time you have to wait for me to finish talking.
Yeah, it's not terrible. It just, I don't know. I think a lot of people are watching Netflix. So.
What else is there to do at training or whatever it is you're doing that we don't know? Evan says, my bad if you guys have addressed this at some point, but how do you feel about the F-16, F-18 performance characteristics in DCS? Maybe on a scale of 1 to 10. Cheers from the Great White North. Is that Canada or Alaska?
It's Canada. It's a
catchphrase.
Canada, it's a catchphrase from the 80s.
Oh, yeah, because he gave us Canadian money.
Plus, he paid us in Canadian. Those aren't California dollars.
Those aren't Alaska dollars.
Gonky?
Yeah, it's not really realistic. The visuals are awesome, but
you're gonna really piss in some Cheerios.
I mean, it's fun. It's a fun experience. The Hornet. I'm speaking of the Hornet. I don't know the F-16. It's a fun experience in DCS, but the DCS Hornet is doesn't really perform quite like the real Hornet.
I would say it's an approximation.
Right.
It's an approximation. It's the best you can get.
What about the F-16? How's that?
It's an approximation. They're always trying to improve it. I mean, they're working very hard. It's funny.
Right.
I wasted an hour and a half of my life yesterday in DCS because a certain developer sent me this campaign. They said, "Hey, Mover, why don't you try this?" I said, "Okay." And I said, "What is it?" They said, "It's the F-16 basic course." And I'm like, "Oh, I hadn't done that since 2008, so it's been a while. Maybe I need it. Maybe there's a chance, I do the old Maverick at 60 years old and go fly again." So it's like, I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take it seriously too. And I rage quit. I ended up rage quitting. So it's not ready for prime time just yet. It will be, hopefully soon. But it just wasn't there. It was funny, though, the character, because they do characters and voices and stuff. Guess what the wingman's name was that you play? Guess your character's name. Guess what your character's name is?
Was it Wombat?
It is absolutely Wombat. You play as Wombat.
You told me there was a Wombat in the game, but you didn't tell me who.
Yeah, you.
So
you get to be Wombat. And so the whole thing is it's TR1. You go out and do these the standard demo, which is true. You actually do that in real life, except you do it in a D model, and your IP's talking you through it because nobody memorizes that crap. You look at the card. The only problem is with this game is that your IP kind of forgets about you, and then you never get past the first. It never moves on to the next. We ended up about 200 miles north of Nellis with 3,000 pounds of gas. So I'm like, I'm never going to make it home. And that was my DCS experience.
Perfect.
That's it. All right. Jay Walker says, serious question. How do you guys see this ending? The show? Probably one of us in jail. Or both.
Or both of us in jail, separate cells.
One or both of us in jail. Gonky, how do you see this ending?
I assume the Iran thing.
That's a valid
honestly,
assumption. The world. I mean, we could ask Tic Tac how the world ends.
Well, I know how it ends in the Bible, but I assume you're talking about the hostilities in Iran. And to be honest, I don't know. I've said in the past, unfortunately, there's been violence in the Middle East as long as I lived there for a long time. I fought there. Whatever the reasons aside, there's always been violence in that area of the world. And I'm not saying that, we're not guilty of partaking in it. To me, I just wish the violence in the Middle East would end. I don't know. I don't know enough about the situation. Having lived there, I know the relationship between Sunnis, Shiites, Persians, Israelis, Palestinians. I know they're not, all friendly to one another, but very surface level understanding of that. So I think I don't know how it's going to end. I hope it ends peacefully. I hope it ends in some diplomacy because hot lead to me is the worst way to achieve your goals. Just like we talked about at the beginning of the show, just look at in my mind, being a dad, I look at the kids now that have to grow up without a mom or a dad. And, you even think about on the Iranian side, right? The school with the girls in it that were all killed, did we do it? Did the Iranian? I don't know. If they're dead, the little girls didn't care, who did it per se. They're just gone now. And, there's families on both sides that are forever damaged, destroyed. And it's just sad. I hope diplomacy wins in this scenario. That's what I think. But I don't know how it's going to end, dude.
Okay.
Mover.
What's your question?
No, I thought you were going to respond to the man's question.
Oh, I'm not psychic. I can't tell you. I have no idea. I would hope that it ends with all objectives met and, you know, some desire to move forward with diplomacy, but with whoever's left, because you have to actually have a leadership, and hopefully the Iranian people are inspired to rise up and create their own government that actually works for them and is not based off of the 40 years of hardship that they've had to endure. But I don't know. I can't predict it. UH60 says an Army Guard guy. Cool. About to start my first job at the airlines. Love the Mover and Gonky show. Watch it every week. Keep up the great work. Cool, man.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Tic Tac's got my back says, what we really want to know, does the DCS Airwolf perform anything like the real Airwolf? No. It's too heavy. It just flies. I think it's gotten worse in the last update. But the sounds have gotten better.
That's
so
funny.
there's that. Yeah. Umar Shafi.
Does it make that noise?
Wow. Yeah.
Does it make the noise when you put in afterburner?
Oh,
Yes.
No. I can't figure out how to map the turbo. I searched turbo. I could not find it. So I don't know what I'm missing. I'm supposed to have it. Anyway, if you guys got called up to fight in your old jets, how long will it take you to familiarize with your planes? Well, if you ask the Air Force, 6 months. The official.
Yeah.
Give me a week.
My mind tells me like I'm ready to go right now.
Give
but
me
I
a
know that's not
solid
the
week.
case. I'm afraid to actually see how much I've actually forgotten.
Oh, yeah. Boris says DCS just got another cool add-on. The brand new Bulgarian F-16s. They're still not carrying combat missions in real life, but they already do in DCS. Okay, cool. Cool. Thanks, Sharkbait. Cozy says Spitfire started wing tipping V1 big warhead. Yeah, I don't think you could do that with modern aircraft. Maybe with like an A-29 or the air tractor, but I don't see you doing that with a fighter, dude.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mover. I mean, you're not going to roll up next to a Shahed drone in a F anything and do the old wingtip. They need to up the speed on the, and I think it's more dangerous. It's a more dangerous way to do it. I'd rather.
Well, what if it detonates?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, then the argument's like, well, it's free. No, dude, listen, I'd rather hose off the $1 million heater than try to do a wingtip, the drone blow up, take out all my heaters, AMRAMs, and this jet, right?
Yeah.
So
and me, because I'm the most important here.
Yes, that's right.
Sharkbait says, "Is the UH-60 over Dubai?" It looks like it.
Yeah, the Burj Khalifa is right there.
Yeah,
it's downtown Dubai.
Griff says, "Missed last week and just got here. Mover, you still in captivity? Blink twice if you need a rescue." But that's just a general statement, not anything specific. Jay Walker says, thanks for answering on that note. Take care and fly safe. Love the show. I'm out. See you later.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, Gonky. So you were talking about this actually, and I'm not, this video, whether it's confirmed or not, but this allegedly shows a Hornet doing strafe. And I want to see your thoughts on this because it raised some questions when I saw this. Go ahead and play it, Doug. That's all we get. But it's allegedly in Iran. You think it's real?
Yeah. What's the video claiming?
A Hornet strafing in Iran. It's got 3.6 million views.
What the? Okay, there. U.S. Navy Super Hornet making a low-level strafing run with its gun. I mean, it looks real. It sounds real. I mean, if it is fake, they did a good job.
OSINT Technical is the same one that claims the Kuwaiti pilot has been arrested. So take that for what you will.
Yeah.
So here's the question I have, Gonky. When you were in, well, the sound doesn't match. Doug muted it, but when you were in theater, were you doing low angle strafe?
You broke up there a little bit, but yes, we did low angle.
This is super low angle at a higher altitude. Doesn't really.
It does, dude, but here's the thing. Even when during OIF, OEF, we had some pretty funky ROE. So I don't know if this is real. I don't know if there's some sort of weird ROE. You're right. It looks like it's
almost level.
I mean, it's just how it was a 6-second clip. Yeah, it's a 6-second clip. And maybe here it already looks like to me he's off the trigger, right? Coming off on his safe escape. But I mean, if we had more of the video, the other thing I was like, it might be a fake because I didn't see any, because usually when the Hornet shoots the gun, you can see some smoke come out of the nose because that's where the gun is, and I didn't see anything like that. So
also he's coming off target.
Is pretty good. That's definitely a Hornet.
Yeah, but the way he's coming off target doesn't make a whole lot of sense either. I mean, what?
As far as what?
I mean, dude, you're doing low angle strafe in bad guy country. What are you thinking? You're not thinking there's
dude. Well, yeah, no, yeah, you're right. I mean, honestly, when I saw this, I was like, man, I bet this Hornet driver is just praying a Tomcat's going to take off and he's going to be a hero. Instead, he's out here strafing ground targets. So, and then the other thing I haven't heard of much. I mean, this is the first time I've heard of fighters doing low altitude strafing in Iran.
Strafing is mostly a CAS thing in most theaters. But again, you're not worried about any kind of man-pad threat, nothing, nobody's, you're just, I mean,
yeah,
3.6 million views, and I'm like, boy, this doesn't look right.
I mean, if it's a fake, it's a pretty good fake. The only thing that's weird to me is not seeing the smoke come out of the nose. I wish we had the whole attack run, then you could.
Well, that's another reason why it's probably AI, is because that's what it'll generate as a 6-second clip.
Oh, really?
Yeah, usually AI clips are like 6 to 9 seconds.
Yeah, that's probably fake. I mean, 6 seconds isn't a lot.
I mean, I love the idea that the Hornets are over Iran doing strafing runs. Dude, this doesn't, it sounded like they just added the noise. Like, play it again, Doug. The whole thing. So he's well into a safe escape, and we're hearing the noise.
Sometimes you have that though with sound.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's real or fake, but you're right. To be in bad guy country,
low angle
like Iran, just do a low angle strafe. And I mean, so when I did, when I strafed in Afghanistan, it was troops on the ground. Typically, if you're taking out a building or something, you're using, a bomb. So, I mean, I don't know the details of the fighting going on over there, but I mean, generally we're taking out facilities and stuff. You're right. Now that I think about it, probably is AI. It doesn't really make much sense to have a Super Hornet out there strafing low altitude, low angle strafe.
It could be old. I mean, Iran, it could be from a previous conflict.
It could be. You're right. They just took footage and just slapped, hey, this is in Iran, right? Yeah. I mean, you're right. 3 million views. I mean, did you read what the what the comments were?
Say, Grok, is this real?
No.
Last week. So this one, here's another one. Play that one, Doug. That's just them flying over. This is just them flying over with no.
It's definitely Hornet.
Go up, go up, go up, go up, go up. Yeah, that's why I have trouble believing this.
Right.
That's a good reason why it's a little bit hard to believe.
Yeah. Dude. Yeah. I wouldn't want to get shot at by one of those things doing a low angle strafe.
Maybe he's like that dude and his countermeasures were off.
They shouldn't be off. I mean, if I was him and that's real, I'd be hovering over the expendables. Or just doing like they showed in Top Gun Maverick, just pumping them out. Like, here I am. Right? It's like, I'm off target. Like, I ain't got it. No more chaff and flares. I'm going home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know,
man.
Low angle.
I mean, they got the A10 over there, right? They got the A10 over there doing the business.
Yeah. I don't know. I just doesn't look right to me. Could be real. That'd be awesome. I want to believe.
AI is getting so good now. It's just tough.
And not just AI, but old footage, video game footage, Arma, all the different video games, DCS, everything. Remember we were talking like the Ghost of Kiev was DCS?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Let's see. Warhorse 500 says, if it makes you feel any better, mover, the pilots who flew the real Airwolf noted the aircraft was heavy too. Yeah, but the fake Airwolf is the one. I want the fictional version. Indian fanboy says, probably started a steep angle, cam turn on late. No, that's a low angle strafe. Because your 30-degree strafe would look more like this. This looks like a low angle strafe with a lazy recovery.
Right.
That's not. 30-degree strafe is very aggressive looking from the ground. Arrow Wrench says possible solutions to the Shahed drones, the R2D2 like on Navy vessels, or maybe drones to fly into drones. They ordered some from Ukraine. The drone killer, whatever thing. Counter drones.
Yeah. I mean, dude, the problem with those R2 units is, imagine, they put a bunch of those around Dubai. They're pretty autonomous, as far as taking into consideration what's behind what they're shooting. Like, I don't know, because those things will spray bullets like no tomorrow. They'll hit the target, but I mean, what else are we gonna damage? I could see it in some applications. Yeah, definitely that would be effective, but man, I don't know. Protecting like populated areas, cities and stuff, that's tough. Drone on drone's probably the best bet.
Yeah. And then you were talking about this earlier. There's A-10s flying in this conflict, and they've been flying in this conflict since day one of the war, which everybody has said.
Yeah, we're getting rid of them, mover.
Yeah, no way an A-10 could survive. But now we've got evidence. This is in Iraq.
Now, is that AI?
No, the A-10's too old to be AI. But it is the same source. So, could be. But they have been deployed.
Yeah, I thought
CENTCOM, when CENTCOM put out their slide, they talked about the A-10 going out there and doing work, and people were like, why is the A-10 out there? There is no better aircraft in the world for the Sandy mission. Like, if I'm a fighter pilot and I'm going into bad guy land, there's two things that I want, right? I want the Sandys, which are the A10s, and I want the Pedros, which are the HH60s. Now they're W's. Fat Wendy.
Yeah.
I want PJs and A10 Bubbas to come rescue me in a hostile environment like that.
Yeah.
And I don't care how they do it, but I want them on standby. But they're not just doing that. They're obviously doing other stuff because they are an awesome platform.
Yeah, well, it's like we said before. I mean, sure, you use your shiny, expensive show ponies the first couple days to neutralize, most of the air threat. And then, I mean, I think a lot of the heavy lifting could be done by aircraft like the A-10, man. Just go in there, big gun, lots of bullets, lots of stuff hanging on the wings, lots of loader time, can take a lot of damage, and let it work.
Yeah.
But what do I know?
You don't know much, according to the comment section. Actually, it's me. One of us doesn't know much. But you're right. I mean,
but two of us.
Like once you get through day one of the war, and people think that it's all or nothing, right? It's all F-35, but they forget that the F-16 was there. And the F-16 was there day one, night one of the war. Because who's better to do the SEAD mission than the CJs? The A-10 was there too, because who better to do the CSAR missions, combat search and rescue? The assets that are there complement each other, and they are pieces of the puzzle that come together to form the battle plan that they use and the strategic plan that they have. And yeah, it may not be against the most advanced, S-400s or whatever. But guess what? We have ways of dealing with that. And once it's dealt with, you want your A-10 in there. The problem with the A-10, from a philosophical perspective, is that, like everything else, it's aging and it needs upgrades, which cost money. That's it. It's not that it's not survivable. It's not that it's not a good asset. It's not a good platform. It's just that it's older. And we as a country need to be buying new stuff. The problem is we're hamstrung and we can't, because we have issues with contracting and all that stuff. But the A-10C, with all of its upgrades, is pretty good for what they do. I mean, they're experts at CAS and they're experts at combat search and rescue and the FAC-A mission.
Dude, if we're fielding air tractors, there's definitely a place for the A-10.
Well, the air tractor is not for this mission. The air tractor is for special operations forces in very specific environments. They're two different things. The A-10 integrates better with...
The A-10's made its own specific environment. Yeah. All I'm saying is, the argument that a low, slow flyer, non-stealth is, dead meat in a modern engagement, I think is ridiculous. I mean, I guess you're assuming you're never going to have control of the air. You're assuming that you're never going to be able to neutralize their air defense network. I mean, if that's the case, then what's the point, right? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I think a lot of the assumptions are based off the South Pacific or the Pacific scenarios a little bit more, as far as it takes longer to get to the point where we got to the point with Iran in like 2 hours, and people don't understand that. A China or a Russia, it's going to take longer, but what's going to happen is in some areas, it's going to be 2 hours. Some areas, it's going to be 48 hours. Some areas, it's going to be weeks. Some areas, it's going to be months. I mean, it's not a uniform all or nothing. And the areas where you can put it in there, so to speak. But the A-10 in general, I mean, it's a bomb truck. It carries a lot. Has a lot of fuel. Can be airborne for a long time as a result. and it has the expertise as part of the community. The problem is, what happens when you divest from a community? The SMEs,
Right.
subject matter experts, all go to other platforms, and you got what's left. You know, I mean, you can't divest, reinvest, divest, reinvest. You have to choose. But it is good to see the A10 out there doing the work.
Yeah, I hope it kicks major butt, enough so that they figure out a way to build more, replace it with something worthy, or keep the old girl going. I think there's a place for it.
Yep. All right. We got a couple comments, one more topic, then mental health minute. Miss Panther says, speaking of A10s, did anyone catch the NASCAR flyover? No, I missed that. Sorry. There's a lot going on with that picture.
Yeah, the longer I look, the more there is to unpack.
There's a lot going on with that picture. I'm really fascinated by everything that's happening in that picture. It's like Mace's helmet with ears, Doug's gas mask from Ready or Not, blue eyes, anatomically correct.
Possibly a corset.
Yeah. Robot arms. A lot happened there.
Hey, it's Miss Panther. Come on.
Cozy says, or K. Sozy says, attack Cessnas versus drones. Yeah. Oh, there you go. DCS theme and our hobbies. I love it. I think it's great. It's
cool.
It's a lot happening. Had to study it for a minute. All right. Gonky. Would you fly on Air India Express? Watch the video and then you tell me. Mighty 737 there.
730.
Yeah. Oh. One more time, Doug, just for old time's sake.
You play the inside version.
Hold on. Bottom falls out. There it is. And there goes the nose. Okay, now play the inside version. I love that people film landings now from inside the passenger area.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Hang on. I got to actually share it. It'll be easier for people to see.
There we go.
Like, oh, look, I'm going on my summer. I'm having my holiday.
Yep, vacation.
Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday.
Yeah, it's Phuket, right?
Oh, and Thailand. Now the phone is looking up at him. Hey, he got the thrust reversers out. Good for him.
I think it was going to stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure the stopping distance is better.
When you're digging into the runway. Do we have the aftermath? There it is. Lost the front wheels. And he was going into, how do you say that, Gonky?
Say what?
Where they were going.
Phuket.
Yeah.
Phuket.
Hyderabad, Phuket. That's what they said when they were landing. They're like, you know what? Phuket, we won't flare.
After they shut down the engines, that's probably they're just like
Phuket. Dude, both wheels are gone.
Great. That's a hard landing, man. I mean, it didn't look like they flared. And listen, I'm here for training, so I'm not gonna, in the sake of bad juju, I'm not gonna make fun of another.
You do that in the sim, you're gonna break the hydraulics.
That's true. Yeah, dude, from the inside view, it looked like there was no flare, and they hit the main mounts and hard enough to bounce. And then the next landing was on the nose gear, and it's not designed to land on the nose gear.
That's why it's trained to bounced. Like you're probably going to do these in your sim. Bounce landing as a go around. Like as soon as that first hard landing and it bounced back up, that's a go around. Go around toga, flaps, whatever on the 7.3. I don't remember. 5 probably.
Yeah.
And then
yeah, exactly. But
they're lucky this is not
I don't
worse.
know. Way lucky, man. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, thankfully, nobody was. There may have been a couple.
The problem was reportedly caused by a detached wheel, which is believed to have resulted from a hard landing. I believe that. That's the I believe button.
Yeah. Yeah, botched landing, dude. I mean, like you said, Mover, just very lucky that, nobody was killed.
So you think the captain made the FO go say hi to the passengers after? It's your landing. You go tell them goodbye.
They probably kept the door shut and egress through the window. I would. It's like
the slides are deployed.
I'm not gonna.
I'm not. Oh wait.
Yeah, it's been a good run. I probably should have never been here in the first place.
Yeah,
Captain LCO.
They could have salvaged that with a go around. Like right now, I know people are gonna say, "Well, what about wind shear? What about any of that stuff?" 100%. All could have been a player, but you got to do a go around right there. As soon as it touches.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just the training. Right there.
Yeah, okay, if it's wind shear, I mean, I'm sure that airplane has, like the old Skybus, wind shear detection capability. And then plus, like you said, if you find yourself in a wind shear, the airplane will, if you don't notice it, the airplane will yell at you that it isn't a wind shear. And then, like you said, in each scenario, in that phase of flight, it's go around, which you always want maximum thrust and some sort of flyaway angle of attack or flap configuration. So, but dude, I don't think it would have been interesting to have been a fly in the cockpit. I don't either. I think they just botched the landing, man. I mean, look, there's a little bit of beach breeze going, but typically wind shear, there's convective activity around, and that, I mean, it doesn't looks like a nice day to be at the beach to me.
Yeah, nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday.
Maybe wake. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Wake turbulence. Even wake turbulence. It looked like the jet was stable. It just looks like it didn't flare. I mean, I don't know, dude.
Yeah,
I never flew. I have not, and hopefully will never fly the 7.3 Max. So I don't know. It looks like a normal stabilized approach to me.
It's a jet that takes some finesse, man. It's not. I've had my best and worst landings in that plane. Not that bad, but I mean,
yeah. I wonder if there was any structural damage because I've seen. I think it was a 7.6, right? That landed so hard on the nose gear survived, but like the fuselage crumpled or crinkled. I mean, I wonder if there's more damage on this thing. I don't know. Like you said, this plane was designed in 1941, so maybe the nose gear isn't that robust.
Well, it's taking a vacation right now.
There's some wrinkles in the skin right there. I don't know if that's normal.
Is there?
It's a pretty suspect place for it. Let's see if I can get my cursor back. Right, like see where BWQ on the landing gear door, and then back and up just a little bit.
Oh, we can't see it on ours.
Let's see if I can make it bigger. No, I can't make it any bigger,
so to speak. I see what you're saying, man.
Yeah, I mean that's for sure going to be a structural inspection at the very least.
Oh yeah. Boeing's getting a phone call on this one.
Yeah, God.
It's like, hey, that nose gear, can we get a warranty claim on it? Because it just came off on landing. Yeah, that's, you know what though? Kudos to these guys, right on center line. Look at that.
I mean, they got that going for them. Go back. Do we have any pictures of what the flaps were? No,
we got video. Can you tell? Can you actually tell?
No, but I mean, it doesn't look. It looks like flaps 30, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah, spoilers, reverse thrust, dude. They got it all in there. Just forgot the flare. That'll happen.
Yeah. All right.
That'll happen.
Well, that's enough of that. Please don't make me watch it again, Douglas.
Yeah, I was trying to see the flaps.
All right. So
Mover's having 737 PTSD.
Yeah, it's making me hurt. Mental Health Minute says, don't panic. Did we do this last week?
No, that's the one I put up for tonight.
Okay. Well, panicking is sometimes involuntary. Sometimes it just happens, and you panic, and you have to use coping mechanisms.
True. But there are also times when adjusting your perception to not get scared of things that aren't going to kill you is worthwhile.
Well, then here, put yourself in the bubble and explain it to us.
So I don't know what made me think about this, but there's little, don't put Gonky in the corner. I was remembering back when I was an administrator, and I was kind of freaking out one day, and a friend of mine said, Doug, think about this. If you screw up completely, is anybody going to die? I said, no, because I'm Dean of Liberal Arts. And he said, okay, that's what you should be remembering. Like, there are jobs where it is really life and death, and there are situations where it is really life and death. But for most of us, most of the time, just taking a step back and thinking before you talk, or thinking before you act, or thinking before you get upset is worthwhile.
Yeah.
So that was what I had.
I like it. I mean, it applies to everything, right? An emergency, don't panic. Because if you panic, then you're not going to do your emergency procedures. You're not going to maintain aircraft control, analyze the situation, take proper action, land as soon as conditions permit. If you are in law enforcement, if you panic and rush into something, you might miss the guy hiding behind the door, or you might miss what's even going on. You know, you have to allow your perception to build with information and let that OODA loop process. So observe, orient, decide, act, right? Is that the OODA loop? But it never helps anybody to panic. So I think with decisions too, we kind of put false pressure on ourselves and work our way up into a panic of, I got to do this now. If I don't do this now, it's not going to happen. And then you end up making a bad decision versus if you just go, hey, smoke a Lucky. Remember, they always used to tell you that in pilot training, hey, smoke a Lucky, see what's going on, let the picture settle. They would tell us this in air-to-air training, especially with an old F-16, radar, where you're like, hey, let the picture settle, see what's out there, target your responsibilities, do all that. Because if you are very fast and just, I got to do something now, you'll screw it up. So I like that, Doug. That's a good one. Gonky, I'm going to put you in the right here. You can tell me about not panicking.
Yeah, you shouldn't push all the buttons in the elevator if you're faced with a difficult scenario. Just saying. No, panic. I think panic and for me, panic and anxiety kind of run hand in hand. So, like you said, Mover, usually if you do panic and let things get out of hand, you won't make the right decision. So kind of like you said, you got to keep your cool. I think the older I get, the better I am at not panicking and letting anxiety take hold of me, just because, kind of like Doug alluded to, I realize that most things that I get worked up over aren't, in the grand scheme of things, aren't really that important. They are important, but not that important. As far as, I think a lot of it for me lately is, I'm a Christian, and I do, I believe in God. Now I'm a terrible sinner, but I do have strong faith. And here in recent years, just, I don't panic much about things because of my faith. So if you have that, I think that's a powerful thing that a person can use in a situation that might cause you to panic. So also just good training too, right? So in the airline world and in the flying world, if you have like this Air India Express landing, if it would have been a little harder and they would have had to do an emergency evacuation, maybe due to a fire or something, if you have training, you know what to do in a stressful situation, because usually panic's caused by stress. So experience, training, and I think faith are just some good tools to have in your hip pocket in any given scenario with avoiding panic, So, but that being said, sometimes I do lose my mind. So that's all I got.
Y'all go make me lose my mind up in here. Well, no, it's a good one, Douglas. I like it. Don't panic.
It was on my mind because midterms were a couple of weeks ago, and I always tell people that around midterms. It's not time to panic yet. I'll tell you when it is time.
It was yesterday. The only easy day was yesterday.
Perfect.
Well, yeah. Gonky, should we expect you next week?
Missed the first part, Mover. Say that again.
Should we expect you to have better internet next week?
Will you be joining us next week?
I'll be back. Yes, I'll be back in my normal office.
This reminds me of the early days when Gonky had the super potato internet, and he kept cutting himself off every time he'd start talking because there would be a delay and we had to fill the air. So then we'd have to talk, and then Gonky would stop talking. Everybody's like, "You're mean to Gonky. You never let him talk."
Doing the best I can do with the internet I have, sir.
Losers whine about their best. That's
what do winners do, Mover?
Next week's mental health minute right there.
Yeah, next week's mental health minute. Hey, we got some things from the audience. Sorry, I'm supposed to do this. Pardon me. I was about to hit the button. Let's see. Garrett says, any landing you can walk away from is a good one. Look at you and your little snow get up. Doug, what'd you do?
It was making me uncomfortable.
Benjamin says 904. You should see the video of the brave mech inside the nose wheel while servicing that strut to get it jacked and the new tires on. Oof.
904 for sure.
Love our maintainers, though. Arrow Wrench says, Gonky, you mentioned the autonomy of the R2-D2s, but it may be the future, think next month, of warfare. Is the AI going to consider the background?
Dude, I don't know, man.
I wonder if the AI is going to do the chat GPT thing and end with a clickbait. This string of fire was great, but let me tell you about the 5 things nobody thinks about when shooting drones. Would you like to know more?
Yeah.
Good talk. Ty 777 5-door Big Jet TV, pilot-induced oscillation, and it's Big Jet TV. Member Aviation streaming channel based in London. The plate is on my GR Corolla, 3-cylinders. We've been through this before, haven't we?
We have.
Remember we talked about the 3-cylinder, 300 horsepower turbo daily driver.
Yeah.
Doug, you need to start writing this down, man.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's add that to my list of things to do.
Your duties.
That's cool.
Arrow Wrench says it's on the back of the Hitchhiker's Guide. Great advice, Douglas.
It is, but that contributes to it being good advice.
You know what book I was reading lately, and I don't like it. I'm going to stop.
Do not know.
Rambo.
Rambo, the book?
First Blood.
Did the book come before the movie, or is it a novelized movie?
No, it's a book before the movie, and I don't like it. I can't like any of the characters.
I mean, I had that problem with the movie.
I love the movie.
You had the problem with the movie?
Yeah, I like the movie, but it's, Rambo's.
Take the movie and multiply that by 6.9. Like Rambo turns in. I'm going to spoil it, but you know where I if I could read it again tonight, I don't know, because he kills the dogs, and I don't. He killed the dogs. I'm like, I cannot support you anymore.
Yeah.
I just can't. Sorry. But that is what it is. All right. That's not what this show's about. This show's about ending. And we're going to do that. Good night, everybody. See you next week, probably.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Good night.